All right, I'm gonna try to make a video of this build here. Working on the 6.5 a bit today, getting it ready to go in the Suburban. I have, basically about 3 weeks, and the Suburban is needed to tow a camper on about a 3-hour trip for our family camp. The 454, I'm pretty sure torque converter is starting to pile up on it. There's some issues in there. And the motor's already sold, and I keep racking the miles up on it. So I need to get this thing in there like now. Another major problem is currently do not have a second vehicle. We have purchased a second vehicle, but it's not going to be here until probably mid next week. Then it's got to go through safety and all that stuff. So I can't actually tear apart the Suburban until we have another way of transportation. So, what I was working at here is this is a van motor, Centermount turbo. On these, how do I put it now? Basically, the turbo does not clear the firewall on any pickup truck for as far as that goes. In these vans and in the Humvees, they have all kinds of room. So they have these massive housings hanging out the backside of the motor. And I don't really want to hack my firewall apart that much. So I need to do something different. And I could keep it simple and go to the truck style side mount turbos or turbo. But I've read on these square bodies you still have to go through the fender well or do a body lift to clear your downpipe, because the up pipe comes up where your downpipe usually comes. So either way, there's going to have to be some changes made, and I figured the center mount is going to perform better and it's just cooler to keep it there. So what I was working on here, I got an HX35 and whatever that is. It's labeled Detroit. No clue what it's off of. It might end up on there. I have no idea. Just to see how it works. But I ordered a turbo pedestal, a PPE turbo pedestal for a Duramax, which I would like to utilize in here to go, I think it goes to a T4 flange. Said pedestal has not shipped yet, and I don't have it. So I have a LB7 Duramax core, which has been left outside and is finished. But I can use it for mock-up because I assume PPE has done a good job and made their pedestal fit in a factory location to utilize all the other factory parts. So if I make this one fit properly, once I get the PPE one in there, everything else should also fit, because aftermarket parts always fit perfectly. So what I did here is I got a wood template because it's easier to work with than steel when you mess up, which this is my third round at this. So I got everything lined up, marked. Guys that designed these things were not sure what was going on, but the back bolt hole is not parallel with the front bolt hole. It's actually offset, as is this side. So I lined it up the best I could, me being as anal as I am. I went and got a feeler gauge, got everything marked out, and I kind of went off this edge. Got it lined up on my line in the front as well as in the back. And on this side, there it is. So hopefully it's sitting there all nice and square. And show you what I got going on here with this all. This nicely slides right in here. I have clearanced it for factory fuel lines and everything. I like to keep everything as factory as possible, so that's where making it fit the way I have it fitting is for a reason. I was hoping that I was able to just build a block in here, to bolt on this whole thing and utilize the factory return and feed tubes for the oil. But now I find this bolt for the turbo pedestal is going to be in the way of the lower bolt, so I will have to do this in 2 separate pieces. I will likely end up drilling and tapping this nice little rail that they have in these blocks here. I think if I put 2 bolts, maybe 3 down both sides, that should hold this all. 3/4 inch steel, and then I think it would be nice and rigid. And then I can build a separate block to bolt in here, drill up through the bottom, and then through the front side, put in some AN fittings or whatever through the front, and then I have my feed and return for the turbo. I will go get this behemoth of a thing and drop it in here. All right, so there's how it sits. Seems to be pretty snug. I'm going to take these manifolds, and I'm probably going to take and shave this angle like this to match the intake angle, or the lower intake angle, and then replate the top. That'll get rid of these holes and also clearance for both sides of the turbo, which again, I have no idea how that other pedestal is going to fit with a HX35 or whichever. So if I just shave these down, because they're they don't wait. Excuse me. Holy smokes. What was I saying here now? Choking on a mosquito or something. They don't need to be this giant anyways. They're pretty darn deep. So if I shave them down an inch, it's not going to hurt anything. It's going to give more clearance for everything. And then I'll end up putting some sort of a Y bridge in here. And that'll just all help clearance all that stuff. So, yeah, that's how it's all sitting anyways for now. Not totally lined up here because it needs to get clearanced. But the plan is, got this piece of downpipe here. Now the lower part of the firewall obviously has more space than higher up. So I want my downpipe, the bigger pipe, which I'm going to do a 3-inch, just because I may as well go as big as I can right off the bat, get clearance for the performance stuff. Performance 6.5. And the idea is to kind of come something like this, just nicely above the bow housing, nice and tight all along there, elbow up and into the back of whichever turbo ends up on here. Decent amount of clearance between here just to keep some of the heat off the back of that head. And then the up pipe will have to come kind of up and around, and then up, and then squeeze down and into there. And again, by using like factory Duramax stuff, I can just use gaskets for a regular Duramax, get flanges made to fit the gaskets to weld onto my pipes, and it just keeps things all easy in the future. Now, pet peeve I have on these square body Suburbans, at least mine, I don't know if they're all like that. The fuel door is on the passenger side, and the exhaust runs down the driver's side of the truck. So if I kept it that way, these cylinder banks are actually, the driver's side is forward, which gives me plenty more room for my exhaust without as much firewall clearance. But I like to be difficult, and I can't stand having the fuel door and the exhaust on the wrong sides of the truck as far as I'm concerned. So I am going to go down the passenger side, and if I keep this pipe low to the bottom and tight, my up pipe will run in between this one and the head, kind of up inside on an angle. Then I shouldn't have to do too much clearancing on the firewall. I will have to move the factory lip for the floor pan for sure, because they're not flat, they step out. That'll gain me probably an inch or more right there. So yeah, that's where I'm at anyway for today.